Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A, and this is the last garden update of August, which is a really weird thing to think. I will admit that I have just hit a little bit of a burnout with the garden and I haven't been doing a lot of work out here, so there are a few things that have started to decline a little bit, but she's still producing a lot of different vegetation and fruit, and I guess I could just show you a little bit of it here and there. But be warned, there are some areas that are just a little bit sketchy. I did want to show you over here in the spinach area and my two little pepper pots down here, because it has been a lot cooler this week. And so the spinach plants are really starting to thrive, and I'm excited about that. I've harvested from it a couple times because it's so good to have leafy greens back again. But it's not as filled out as I was hoping it would be, because this new one that I planted, a couple weeks ago, is still pretty small. But it's still alive, so that's promising. But otherwise you can see how the spaghetti squash has taken over. You can almost see the other plants in there, but it's mostly just spaghetti squash right now. You can see one of the fruit right there. I did, I think yesterday. Let's see if I can get over there. Right over there. All those beans right in there. Did harvest a lot of those beans. Got a nice handful, so that'll make at least one meal. So that's something. But otherwise, see if I can walk through here without dying. The beets have to be harvested probably within the next week or so. They're a little too big. And these tomato plants have just kind of flopped over. I mean, they're still going. There are parts that don't look so good. And once upon a time, there was a pepper plant in there. It's still there, I think. It's just buried underneath the tomato. You can see one of the ripe ones right now. Need to come back and harvest that. But the squash is still vining on the deck, which is okay by me. I don't think I've talked a lot about the pots in this area. I have a whole bunch of dwarf tomato plants, and they're honestly not doing the best. This lemongrass is just so excited. And I'll be honest, I don't exactly know how to use lemongrass, so I've kind of just been letting it grow. There's another lemongrass on the other side that isn't doing quite so well, but it's there. But yeah, tomato plants are existing, but I haven't really harvested any fruit off of them. And as you can tell, my pumpkins are not doing good at all. They've pretty much died most of the way back. You can almost see the one pumpkin we did get right down in there. Just hanging out. But yeah, otherwise this area is starting to flop over. And I think the ground cherries, they just got a little too tall a little too quickly, and now they're flopping. So yeah, the tomatoes, I can't say they're doing good, but they're not doing good. There's a bunch of these plants that are producing quite a bit, but I don't think I like the clips as much as I like the tape. They just bend in weird ways, and I might go back to the tape next year. But I do have to say, now that the weather has cooled down quite a bit, these guys are starting to bounce back a little bit. And I have been getting a ton of tomatoes. And I think my favorite part, so if we can get back here, even though the water isn't the best back here, but this area is just looking so pretty. I need to deadhead my daylilies, but overall, I am liking how this area ended up turning out. Even my new kiwi plant seems to be doing good. And the newer parts of the squash, hi, is doing okay. It's the older stuff back here. You can start to see where everything's just kind of giving up a little bit. But I will say, it's giving room for all of these pepper plants. I do have to go in and weed some of the grass out. I'm not sure how it got in there. But the pepper plants are doing really, really well. Along with this one marigold plant that is just loving life. And yes, that is just one plant. But you can see over here where this poor ahi pepper had been smothered by a zucchini plant. It's still there, and hopefully now it'll have room to just explode with growth, I guess. But I do need to come and harvest these potatoes. All of the tops have been dying back or been eaten back by both grasshoppers and potato bugs. So I need to go through and see what's actually under there. So there's that. But the bunching onions have been doing so well and they've been tasting so good. Absolutely love them. Don't think I showed you the beans over here. They're doing okay. They're just doing whatever. And then here is the other cluster of pots where we're actually getting some tomatoes being produced. They haven't ripened yet. And this tomato plant looks really, really green. But overall, haven't really been getting a lot from this area. So I'm keeping my eye on both of these pepper plants. Back over here, the beans are doing really well. But my sauce tomatoes, not so much. I've maybe harvested like 4 tomatoes out of all 7 of these plants. I think this was a fail. They did not like this area at all. Something went wrong, unfortunately. And then whatever these volunteers are, they're still going. They look kind of like sunflowers, but they're a lot thicker. So I don't know. Probably a weed. Otherwise, lastly, we have the eggplants, and we have the carrots, and I believe that is just 1 carrot that has gone to seed. There might be like 3 carrots altogether that have gone to seed. But yeah, I still kind of like how filled this bed looks. I like it. So that is the garden at the end of August. I do need to go through here and clean out a bunch of stuff. And I think last time I mentioned starting some of my fall crops, which is usually daikon radishes. That's what I typically aim for. So I need to decide where those are going to go in and how. So hopefully next update you will see a little bit of a change as we go into September. But right now I'm just trying to find that motivation again. And with the temperature cooling down, I have been getting some of that. But there's so much preserving that's going on right now that is just really crazy. I have a lot of those pictures up over on Instagram and Threads if you want to see what I am harvesting and preserving. Otherwise, I do like to do these videos about once a week so I can see how the garden is growing and changing. So feel free to subscribe and hit the bell to get all of the notifications. Otherwise, I am going to go in and edit this video and get it up for you. I do hope I will see you guys again in another video, and at Heart Beautiful Faces.